Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
I love boosters.
Hey y'all, hey, welcome to Sisters Who Watch.
Hello, I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura, and we're sisters who watch everything. TV, movie, sports, concerts, and even very bizarre offbeat movies. We love to watch, and we love talking about it even more. Today we're watching I Love Boosters.
Yes, that's right. Boots Riley's new film.
That's it. And before we get into it, please make sure you're giving Sisters Who Watch 5 stars. 5 stars wherever you listen. Rate, download, subscribe. We really appreciate your support. Okay, Shelby, can you give us a little background on I Love Boosters?
Of course, we like to start with the log line. Here it is. A group of shoplifters take aim at a cutthroat fashion maven by stealing her clothes and reselling them at a lower price. What they call fashion-forward philanthropy.
Triple F.
Exactly. It's written and directed by Boots Riley, who's known for more like indie offbeat filmmaking. So he's done the show I Love a Virgo. He's also done films like Sorry to Bother You. So if you like strange things, you've probably seen a Boots Riley film. And it has a really cool, I'd say, Black ensemble cast led by the one and only Keke Palmer. Keke keeps a job, Palmer. She's booked and busy.
She's booked. She's booked.
Love it for her. And then rounding out the cast is like Taylor Page from Zola, Naomi Aki from Blink Twice, LaKeith Stanfield. He was the star of Sorry to Bother You, so this is the second time working with Boots. You also had Demi Moore playing the fashion maven villain, who was great. Like, we'll get into it, but she was really good in the part. And this is, you know, maybe one of her first big roles since The Substance. So cool to see her in something really creative.
Right.
And it also had like some cameos, like Robin Thede was in there quickly. Remember that? You had Don Cheadle playing Dr. Jack.
Bizarre.
And then Poppy Lou from Hacks is in it. Will Poulter, like really interesting cast.
lots of names.
Lots of names.
Pretty big names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was distributed by Neon, who has done a lot of indie film. It's had success recently, mostly at Cannes and in the international space. And so I was really intrigued to see what they would do with this one. And this film actually premiered at South by Southwest in March. We've never been. Well, at least I haven't been. You haven't been, have you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, eventually I want to go to South by.
I was really excited by this cast, right? I mean, Keke Palmer is a star. I feel like she's everywhere, and her star is like rising. I feel like she's leading movies. People are really excited by her right now. So super happy to see her leading this movie. And I hadn't seen a Boots Riley movie before, because I just know that he's very offbeat, and it's not always my favorite.
Yeah.
Have you seen his projects before? What were you expecting from this movie? Do you like his style?
I had tried to watch Sorry to Bother You. It's even more offbeat than this. So
interesting.
It was a little out there for me. I eventually do want to try it again. But, and you know, LaKeith is so odd too. Like the two of them together, like operating at full oddness is like, whew, a lot. But I definitely do want to see or give Sorry to Bother You another chance, since I saw this movie and spoiler alert, liked it. And I didn't see I'm a Virgo. It was a TV show on Amazon Prime led by Jarrell Jerome. I heard it was also kind of like kooky. It was like about a 13-foot tall man. That's all you have to say. So yeah, I haven't seen that. But we saw Boots Riley at Sundance earlier this year. He was like out there with the people watching content. He was in our screening of Kikuyu Land.
Yes.
And then he was at that macro networking event we were at.
That is true. We did see him. I know, that's so funny. And yeah, he's just like us, Boots Riley.
Man of the people. He likes to watch some good movies.
Yeah. And you can kind of tell he just seems really authentic, just how he dresses, how he acts. He was actually on I'm a fan of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. I have to get my Bravo fix. And
Of course.
Keke Palmer was on the show promoting the movie, and Boots Riley was also behind the bar to promote the movie.
You're kidding.
And he's just like so fun. He just seems so real.
Yeah.
So I appreciate his POV. So I feel
Yes.
like maybe my expectations were mid. I think I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this because I know that he's weird. So I was like, I was a little hesitant coming into the movie, but I was excited and intrigued by the cast, right? All these Black
Yeah.
women, Keke Palmer. I'm like, okay, let's go. Like, I'm excited to see a Black woman led movie. So, and the cast was stacked, honestly. It had all these stars. I was really intrigued. What were your expectations coming in?
Yes. Coming in, I had heard good things. So I was like, okay, like this is getting good buzz, positive reviews. I
Right.
also, because I have AMC Subs A-list, and I really want to support Black content if I can.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta see it. And so I wasn't able to see it when it first came out because it came out like right before I had a big work trip. But I was like, it was on my list. Like the second I got back from that work trip, I had to see Is God Is, and I had to see I Love Boosters. That was a priority before they left theaters. Because it was like, we being fed all this Black content. I gotta support. And so
Exactly.
I really, honestly, because of the good word of mouth and just wanting to support, that's why I wanted to see it. My expectations, I was intrigued because this was my first real Boots Riley content, and because I'd heard positive feedback. So I was like, okay, I hope I'm gonna like this. I knew, right, he's a little quirky and offbeat, so I wasn't like, oh, this is gonna be the best movie ever, but I was intrigued.
Yes. Did you know what a booster was before this movie?
No.
I know. I was like, I had no idea what the movie was about. But then after seeing the previews and some ads, I was like, okay, it's about shoplifting and fashion. But then people were like, yeah, boosters, shoplifters. And I was like, I don't think that's a common thing people know. I've never heard that before.
It must not. I don't know. Maybe it depends what neighborhood you grew up in, but I did not know what a booster was. I did not know. Or maybe I'm like, is it a Oakland colloquialism? I don't know. I'm like, could it be a Bay Area thing? I'm not sure.
Bay Area thing. And that's a good segue because I was about to ask, did you know that the movie was set in the Bay?
No, I knew he was from the Bay. I knew Sorry to Bother You was also set in the Bay. So like, which makes sense. Like he's from the Bay. He wants to set movies in the Bay. Love that. But I did not know this was going to be set in the Bay. So I love that we saw it in San Francisco.
I know. So we saw this movie at the AMC Metreon in downtown San Francisco. And then when the movie started, we're like, San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh my
gosh. So that was cool.
Right away.
And our theater was pretty packed, right? It was pretty busy. And we saw it like a few weeks after it came out. Yeah. It was a busy showing because they only had one showing a day at AMC. So it was quite crowded. So what did you think about the movie starting?
It started at the club where Keke sees LaKeith, and then she seduces a guy to come back to like what he thinks is her apartment, but no, it's actually to buy bootleg clothes and shoes and belts.
So funny. And she's like, oh, what's your shoe size? And then
you think it's alluding to like you know what, and no, it's like, no, actually your shoe size. It's so funny.
And he was lying about the shoe size.
Yeah, he was like 12 or something, 13. And then he's like 10, and then she gives him pairs of shoes. It was so funny.
That was a good way to start the movie because it sets the tone, and you're like, okay, yes, we're here, bootlegging, selling clothes, swindling men into buying stolen clothes. Yeah. And we're introduced to Demi Moore's character, who's this big fashion mogul. Yes. And Keke Corvette is her name in the movie, is a huge fan of hers, and she like idealizes Demi Moore. What did you think of that? Her and her squad love Demi's clothes.
I know. Christy Smith was her name.
Christy Smith.
And she had like a department store type thing that every month it was like a different color.
Yes, each store is a different color. Which was so interesting. Funny. I'm like, how does Boots Riley come up with this stuff?
And I thought it was a really good critique, a really good analysis, because you had this white woman making the kind of like fast fashion-y clothes for POCs. And it made me think like, yeah, like I feel like a lot of times like the hair products we get or like the wigs or weaves or whatever, right? It's not made by Black people. Like it's interesting. A lot
No.
of times the things that we buy and consume aren't made by us, but they're made for us, but more stereotypically. Like Christy Smith was calling them ghetto trash or whatever. It's like, oh, these are your customers. That's how you feel.
The names that she was calling them was so crazy. And it was also the movie I thought was so multi-layered, and how it all came together was really good, because we see in the beginning there's all these ads or like news clips of these people being like, propaganda being like, oh, the streets are this and the system's broken and my welfare check, all this stuff, feeding into, stereotypes, anti-poor people, stuff like that. And you're like, this is ridiculous. Like, who would ever believe this? And then we find out, that all these all these people in the news clips were actors. And you're like, what? Paid by,
Don't believe everything you
all
see.
the rich people.
Like
Christy
Smith.
Like, yeah, the twists and turns for this movie
were around.
Wild.
After Keke does that selling, she then meets up with her fellow girl gang, and then it's cool. You see all of the fellow boosters coming together to do a hit.
Yeah.
And you also see their environment, right? One's like a single mom who's sadly falling prey to a pyramid scheme led by Dr. Jack. Another one, it's just like funny seeing like their lives and where they're at.
Yeah.
Another one, or like Keke, right? She's living in like a chicken shop, like a closed down chicken shop, and everyone's always like, I'm hungry. And it's like, well, there's no chicken. It just smells like it.
That was funny.
Yeah, like she's squatting. So funny.
Yeah, all these women are hustling. They're figuring it out. And I think that's a lot of people right now. And they're like, how can we make some cash? And it's like, we have to do shortcuts, right? And steal and hustle, all this stuff. And the news is pitting us against each other. They're like, poor people, ghetto trash, food stamps, all this stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
They are almost nearly caught a couple times boostering or shoplifting. And so it becomes a situation where it's like, okay, like, what are we going to do? We have to figure out like a better plan. And so they're Keke or Corvette, these names are so funny. Corvette is like, we gotta like, I gotta get to Christy Smith. I gotta just like get to her. Maybe I can like convince her to take some of my designs, or like maybe we'll be able to find out what's something good to steal. And so she pretends to be Christy Smith's barista, or like a manager.
She sneaks into the barista cart, and then she pretends to be a manager of the coffee company.
So funny. And it's crazy because she lives in a sideways building. Christy does.
I was like, what kind of choice is that? It was so bizarre. So everything is like falling.
Yeah, everything's
building is tilted. Yes.
So funny.
So bizarre. And you see Keke trying to escape, and like she just can't. She's running, and you see her legs go fast. I was like, what is going on?
So funny.
But it just showed like how rich people are just like, well, I don't know. They like
Delusional.
Strange things. It's like, why is she living in a sideways building?
Laura.
So then Corvette is caught by Christy Smith because she can't escape because of the tilted room. And then she's like, oh, I'm just a manager. I'm just checking on your barista cart, making sure everything's okay. And she's like trying to get information about the fashion world, about what could be profitable, what's the most expensive thing at Christy Smith. And because she had heard a rumor about these $100,000 suits.
Yes.
And she's like, where are these suits? What are they? I need to know. And then Christy Smith just continues to like, talk down on, the people who are stealing from her, and call them ghetto hoes and all of that.
So bad.
And Christy is impressed by Corvette, because Corvette knows so much about Christy fashion, and is a huge fan of her work and fashion and everything. Um, and then I think a day or so later, they see Kiki's design in one of Christie's stores.
Yes, because they decide to get a job. They're like, you know what? The best way to have a really big heist or like to get a lot of money, let's start working at the Metreon stores.
Yes.
And then we'll be able to steal all the merchandise, easily. So they start working for Will Poulter, who's like an awful manager.
My goodness, yeah.
And one of the fellow workers is Isa Gonzalez. I don't know if you recognized her.
From
she was in Baby Driver.
Okay.
Ambulance. 3 Body Problem. I didn't watch that, but she's a Mexican American actress. And so I was like, oh wow. I want to pause for a second. Love the diversity in this film. Just so many Black women, so many women of color front and center. Oh yes, great.
It was refreshing because you don't see movies like this.
No,
it's always like one Black woman, right? A lead, right? Viola Davis, but you don't see like 5 Black women in a movie.
Or if it's gonna be an ensemble cast, it's like 1 Black, 3 white, 1 Asian, 1 Latinx.
Yeah.
No, the only white person I feel like was Demi Moore
and Will Poulter.
Oh yeah, Will Poulter. Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. To have like several Black women in starring in a cast is like, so that never happened. No, so it was just like refreshing. Actors. And I mean, obviously it was like a Black led film, but it didn't feel like a quote Black movie, if that makes sense.
It didn't.
Right. It was just like an indie movie with Black people in it.
100%.
Which
is refreshing.
Yeah, we don't get those kind of movies.
No,
we don't. So so I really enjoyed that. So the diversity was great.
Yes. But back to them working in the store. So to your point, they see one of Corvette's designs all of a sudden show up in the store, and Corvette gets so mad because she applied to a fashion program with Christy Smith but was denied. But clearly they stole her designs. So bad. And so she's even more motivated to get revenge. She's like, yeah, we have to steal this, all the clothes in the store, get it all out. And some of her like fellow boosters are like, are you sure? That's kind of dangerous. How are we going to pull it off? And they're like, we can do it. Even if they might not have the white girl that they normally would have to like help them.
Oh yeah, the blonde.
Distract. So funny. And then they had like a getaway driver. I will say, whenever they would steal stuff, they'd walk out with all the clothes stuffed in their outfits. Funny. And I was like, how are people not seeing this?
Yeah, so in the beginning when Kiki's, also the outfits were so funny, but when Keke had like a little bob on and she had like that big blue, I think it was blue, and she was hobbling out in that outfit, that was really good.
So funny.
Yeah, I just loved all the fashion and the different outfits in the movie. Like there was a sequence where the 3 women were robbing all the different stores and they were wearing the most insane things in every scene.
Laura.
I'm like, I need a costume design nomination.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the costume designer, whoever it was. I'm like, you
set design, loved it. Loved every second.
8.
And I think it was also good commentary about, right, Will Poulter was like a nightmare of a boss, and Christy Smith, like refused to, help the workers in the sweatshops as well as like her retail workers.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was good commentary about like retail workers, service workers, and how poorly they're treated. And one moment I liked was when Will Poulter was like, you 3 new ladies, you can't wear this. And they're like, these are Christy Smith designs. Like these are clothes from her. Why? Because they stole all of last season.
Yeah, they're like, we have all her clothes.
We have Christy Smith clothes. And he's like, no, you need this season's clothes. Crazy. And he's like, you get like a 10% discount, but it's like the clothes are hundreds of dollars.
And it comes out of your paycheck.
And it comes out of your paycheck. And it's like, if I have to wear, a lot of retail stores do this. They're like, you have to wear Old Navy, you have to wear American Eagle, all this stuff. But they don't give it to you. You have to buy the clothes.
Crazy.
It's wild.
Doesn't make sense.
It's wild. Doesn't make sense. So I thought that was good commentary. And they're like, hey, like, can we, like, you're taking all this stuff out of our paycheck. Like, why all this stuff to do? Yeah, it's just, I feel like wages in the US for a lot of these service jobs and non-corporate jobs, it's just, yeah, it's rough.
Really bad.
It's rough out here.
They decide, okay, we're going to take all the clothes out of
the yellow store.
The yellow store when Will Poulter's on his lunch break. It'll be quick, but we can do it. We don't have a lot of time. And they're like, what about the cameras? It doesn't matter. We'll wear masks and our wigs. It's hilarious. We'll do it. And so they're about to do it, but Will Poulter brings all the workers to the back room for a meeting, even though no one's in the front of the store. He's like, we just open. It doesn't matter. Okay. So they're all having a meeting, and then they come back out. All the clothes are gone. Someone took all the clothes in their 5-minute meeting. And they freak out. He goes on the floor crying. And then the girls are like, dang it. How is this possible? This was what we were supposed to do. They beat us to it. So then they look at security cameras and then try to figure out who this person is and then go to a different store to try and catch her. And they do. We find out it's Poppy Lou from Hacks. Yes. So funny. And she basically is from China and works in the factory that makes all of Christy Smith's clothes with her family. And she used a time machine or portal transporter to come to LA to come to the Bay to steal all the clothes to hopefully make a statement.
Send them back to China.
And send them back to China and make a statement for them to have better wages and working conditions in the Chinese factory because her family members have gotten sick because of the type of jeans they're making or something. Really was crazy.
Sandblasting, I think. Yeah. And they're all getting these terrible health conditions from working in these sweatshops.
Didn't see that coming.
And they're trying to, organize and talk to the managers of the sweatshop, and they won't do anything.
No.
They're like, no, sorry, you have to work harder. Your quotas are higher.
Yeah. So she and her cousin found this transporter device and came up with this plan.
So this is when the movie was already bizarre, but this is when the movie really just went off the rails. I was like, what?
It's great.
Portals, time travel, what is happening?
It's great.
But I was like, okay, we're here. We're on the ride. We're here.
I'm bought in.
So now they're like, okay, let's work together, right? We all want to take Christy down. You have this little portal time travel thing that can help us, steal her clothes even faster. So let's team up. So then they hit, all of Christy's stores. Christy's freaking out. It's making headlines. She's yelling at the news about ghetto trash stealing her clothes. And they're making a statement. And Christy has a big fashion show coming up. And they're like, how can we continue to sabotage this? But the girls get fired from their job because apparently they're not because of shoplifting, but they're just not showing up to their shifts.
They were too much boostering. They got distracted and were missing shifts.
Yeah. So now they no longer have an in.
So they're like, okay, how's this going to work? Because they're going to use this transporter tool, to your point, ruin the fashion show. It just so happens they're outside the fashion show, and who do they see? LaKeith Stanfield, who has been so weird this whole movie, but has been really into Keke. And every time he sees Keke, he stares at her. And we find out he's a demon.
The entire time, we're like, something's off with LaKeith. We don't know what. And he every time he's at the camera, the camera does this weird shaking thing, and it zooms in on his eyes, and we're like,
he's
what?
So crazy.
What is happening with LaKeith Stanfield?
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm a demon, and I have to fall in love with someone in order to become human. And I was
to break this curse, because every time he has sex, he destroys people.
Yeah, takes away their soul, a woman's soul. And I was just, at this moment, I was just like, Boots Riley, what is happening?
That was probably
actually what is happening.
My least favorite part. LaKeith being a demon. I was like, that did not need to be there.
It was not necessary for the story. I kept on thinking, why did LaKeith Stanfield, why this?
He literally was not needed.
Yeah, he wasn't necessary in the movie. I guess he was the in.
Yeah, we find out he's a model performing in Christy Smith's show. So he has an in, and so that's how he sneaks them in, and that's how they're able to get in.
He helps them.
Yes.
So that was kind of the, his purpose in the movie, but his character was so bizarre. It was like, why?
I have a little soapbox thing here about LaKeith. I feel like LaKeith could be so great he could be the next Michael B. Jordan if he wanted. Like LaKeith was in Get Out. He was
I know, one of the
nominated
biggest
for an
movies, yeah.
Oscar for Judas and the Black Messiah. Like LaKeith had an opportunity to be a Black leading man, right? Especially Jonathan Majors is out of it. Like he had a time.
I know,
like,
there's a lane right now.
And he is like, no, I'm going to make weird indie content. And, you know, hey, not everyone wants to be a leading man. But I look at that and I'm like, LaKeith, you're such a good actor. You could have a different path.
What happened to Daniel Kaluuya? Yeah.
Laura,
what happened to him? Where is he?
There are rumors that he's in a cult in England.
What?
Did you hear about this?
No. Daniel Kaluuya is in a cult? Do you know the nature of the cult?
No, I don't. But people are worried about him, and that's why he's been like out of loop. Like, have you seen him in anything?
No, that's why I'm like, when you were like, LaKeith should be more stuff. I'm like, but what happened to Daniel Kaluuya?
Like literally, LaKeith was in The Heart of the Fall. He was in Atlanta. He was in Haunted Mansion, which I didn't see, but like,
oh, I mean, he's acting, like he's
Laura,
working.
Think about it. Die My Love last year. Like he is
was
just
in that movie
choosing the weirdest parts. Like, what is going on? Maybe that's all he's doing. I don't know. Maybe that's all he's
pigeonholed.
Maybe he's pigeonholed into the weird Black man. Like
because
Paul
my thing is like
is.
it's not like he's not in stuff. I feel like I see him in a bunch of stuff. So I'm like, you know, he's doing his thing.
Yeah, I just think he could be doing even more, to be honest.
I think that's fair. I'm like, who are the young leading Black men? Michael B. Jordan's only one, and he's like 40. So
yeah, Laura, there's not many. It was all rooted in I want more for LaKeith Stanfield. But back to the film review, we were saying
they got snuck in. They snuck into the fashion show.
And then they used the transporter machine to, and this is what's interesting, the sci-fi piece. To some of the machine could either like transport things back to China or revert things back to their prior form,
original state,
or something else,
like amplify them to like it's next
expedite to expedite the process.
Exactly.
And so they did a combination of that in the fashion show to really throw things off. And then Christine runs away, and then they start to run away, and it leads to like a chase of sorts, like Keke transporting herself like to and from China.
I can't. Yeah, they start chasing her. She's running around the SF hills and jumping to in and out of the transporter. I thought that was a really good scene because it was like actiony.
Yeah, it became like an action
funny. Movie. Yes, there were guns, and you're like, "What's happening?" And the people who are chasing her,
the suits.
This was really, really interesting. So Keke and her squad, they're behind the scenes of the fashion show, and they're like, "Where are the suits? Where are the $100,000 suits?" And then they see all the people who are in the propaganda news clips, and they're like, "Wait, you're the crack hoe lady from the news." And they're like, "Wait, you were the crying mom. You're the upset citizen. What are you doing here?" And it's like Jermaine Fowler. I recognize him. There are a couple other actors in this group who I recognize. Yes. And I was like, wait, who are why are the people, the propaganda folks from the news clips, like, what are they doing behind the scenes at Christy Smith's fashion show? And we find out that they're actors that Christy Smith pays to go out and do these news clips on TV to, reinforce the narratives that these powerful rich people want about the streets and about their communities.
It's too much.
And I was just like, this is really good commentary. And Keke's like, holding the transporter. She's like, "Give me the $100,000 suits. Give them to me." And they're wearing like these kind of corporate-y suits. And the squad, the girls are like, "These are kind of drab and ugly for $100,000. And then they're like, "Take off the suits, give us the suits." And then they're like, fine, we'll give you the suits.
This scene.
And then they start stripping, and then they're like stripping down to like their underwear, and then they like start to take off their skin, and you're like, And they're like, here are the suits. And you're like, what? And they're like just blood and veins and like eyeballs. And you're like,
And
what? Like,
muscle.
what? Just like, what's happening?
And you're like, wait, Christy Smith made skin suits?
What is happening?
Crazy.
What is happening?
Off the rails.
And it was just like really, again, good commentary about like, these are the things that people want. The propaganda that they're buying into, they're like, yes, I want these skin suits. Christy Smith says that they're this, they're that, they're exclusive to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then Keke and her girl squad take the skin suits, but then to sell, right? Because they're the most expensive thing that she sells. And then the skin people start running after Keke and shooting her in the street. And they like separate. Kiki's like, you guys go here, take the suits, and then I'm gonna distract them, basically. So the girls separate.
Crazy. And then so that's when the action set pieces happen, running around San Francisco, running through China. And while this is happening, Poppy Lou's cousin in China is trying to escape his bosses because basically by helping Poppy, he gives himself away. And so they're trying to capture him in China. And then all the factory workers, including their family, are watching them like, run, run, run. And it's just like this chase is happening in 2 different continents, 2 different timelines. So funny.
Yeah.
And it's cool seeing 2 different worlds, right, help each other. And through this, Keke's starting to realize like, oh, maybe like it shouldn't just be about like getting revenge on Christy or like getting things to sell to make money, but there is like a higher purpose connecting all of us.
Yeah, because it's bigger than just reselling her clothes.
Yeah, like maybe we do need to fight for change and like better working conditions.
Yes. So Keke escapes the skinless people trying to kill her. She returns to the fashion show and she's like, okay, how can we show Christy that we need real change, right? So then she like uses the transporter, the teleporter machine device, and she like accelerates, amplifies all the people here. People are already mad and like screaming and all this stuff, and then she amplifies it so that everyone is like protesting and fired up and is like calling for change, in China and in the US.
And it leads to a global strike of Christy Smith's brand. And she hates it, of course, but has to fold. She has to like, she meets like, we hear on the news, she meets like 2 out of like the 5 demands so far. And then they're still on strike. And you're like, wow, finally some change, right? Collective bargaining and work works, right? And so I thought that was a really good message. And I would not have thought that's where this movie was going. Like about like labor and community and working together for change, like we're more powerful together. And so the movie kind of ends with the protest happening, Isa Gonzalez thanking them like, yeah, girl, you know, appreciate you finally seeing the value of her points, because this whole time Isa was working in the store, she was like, we got to get out of here, we got to like, you know, fight Will Poulter, we got to fight for more rights and better conditions and better hours and better pay. Because they took like a 1-minute lunch. That was so funny. When they would take a lunch, they'd like run out and then run back.
That's like every person who's had, anyone who's had to work for somebody understands. Your lunch break can't be that long. So I thought that was another good moment.
Okay, so I mentioned the news reports are showing that strikes are spreading across the world, which is exciting, and that workers are getting some of their demands met. Jean-Hu, Poppy Lou's character, uses the like machine, and as it's deconstruct clothes, it somehow reversed her mother's cancer too, and so her mom's healthy.
Crazy.
We have the demon LaKeith try to ask Corvette to be with him, and she's like, no. So funny. And then the Velvet Gang, Corvette, Sade, Mariah, all come together to open a community center to sell affordable clothes. And I thought that was a really good ending, because it was always about fashion forward philanthropy. And right, I think that was the 3 F's. and they found a way to like still do that. They still love fashion, they still love community. Let's give back by using everything we've stolen to create more
Yeah.
affordable clothes for people and
Love
have
it.
them come to this instead of supporting Christy Smith. Right?
Yes.
There's like value
Exactly.
in community local stores. Like let's put money and resources into each other and not support these big
Yes.
corporations.
Period. Yeah, honestly, this movie was such a watch. Like I
Great.
was not expecting to like it
Big
as
watch.
much as I did. Big, yeah, definitely a watch. And I think the messaging was really good. Like I think, like we said, it's not a black movie. I think it's a movie about like
No.
community. It's about a movie about fashion. It's a movie about capitalism. It's about labor and workers' rights. I think the commentary is just really, really interesting. It's about propaganda and controlling the narratives on the news and all of that. I thought it was really well done. It talked about so much stuff. It was really, really ambitious.
It
And I
was
think it
really ambitious.
successfully delivered on all the messaging.
100%. Like it made me feel really like motivated.
Yes.
Like I was inspired. And also it was something that we talked about right after seeing it. So creative. Like there's something
I've
about
never
seeing
seen a movie like it.
an
Wow.
original movie that is that unique. Like you
Yeah.
rarely see that. And that just excites me and inspires me. And it's so impressive. I think it's hard to make an original comedy. And
Yeah.
the fact that Boots Riley did, and it was funny and unique and interesting, like
Yeah.
that is such a feat.
Exactly. And like you said, it was funny, right? There aren't that many comedies these days.
No.
And to have a actually funny movie that but is also like provocative and, makes you think, is very thought provoking. I was really impressed. And right, super diverse. Loved it.
Super
Yeah.
diverse.
So I'm very excited about the film. And like you said, everyone I've talked to has said that they liked it. That they
Right?
enjoyed
Like
the movie.
I think that's when you know, like, oh, okay, people are locked in. Like this is a movie
Yes.
everyone's saying they enjoy. So
Right. So on to our What to Watch segment. Shelby, do you think I Love Boosters will get any awards love?
I am a fan, obviously, but movies like this usually don't get awards love. I mean, I would say Everything Everywhere All at Once is kind of an interesting comp. That movie, I think, was also kind of quirky and oddball, but was somehow able to like go on this unbelievable Oscar run. Like, sadly, I don't know if this could do that, but I hope it could. Like, it would be interesting to see if Neon puts money behind it. Like, I think that's a big part of it. Oscar and awards campaigns come down to money. And right, Neon just won the Palme d'Or at Cannes with a different film. And like, they already have a lot of movies that they're trying to work through. So who knows if I Love Boosters will get some of that love. But I would love for it too, because I thought it was so interesting and well written.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, Neon always has a lot of awards heavy hitters. So, yeah, I don't know if this movie will be a priority, but I think hopefully at least like costume design, set design, I thought all those were really outstanding.
Yes, I agree. I think that would be really, really fun if it got some love there.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think so far, thinking about it, it's probably the best movie I've seen so far this year. So we'll see.
Love that.
Anything else for our What to Watch segment?
Well, if you want more Keke Palmer, she has her podcast, Baby, This is Keke Palmer. She also, I haven't seen it. Did you watch The Burbs, that new Peacock TV show?
I did not, but apparently there's a season 2, right?
I think so. And so that came out if you guys are looking for that. Also, apparently Naomi Ackie is going to be in a new kind of DC Comics horror movie later this year, Clayface. Probably won't see it since it's horror, but happy for her.
Yeah. Well, if you enjoyed this episode of Sisters Who Watch, please make sure you're giving us 5 stars. 5 stars wherever you listen. Rate, download, subscribe. We really appreciate your support.
Yes, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and we want to hear from you. So please comment, subscribe, DM, email us at sisterswhowatch@gmail.com. We also are making like new profiles and platforms, so stay tuned. You'll be able to find us in many places, and we want to just hear from you. So let us know what you think. Thank you all
Yes.
so much.
Thanks, y'all. Stay watching.
Bye. Stay watching.